which is where this guy ended up.
Do you want to get out?
And finally,
You can get out. Come on, let's go for a walk.
Stella is trying to decide if she wants to go for a walk or stay with her babies. Tough decision for this Kansas City mom. Stella's tail says one thing, but her instincts say another. And in the end, at least for now, she decides to stay with her puppies.
With Lola and Louie, that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Update.
How many puppies are there?
I want one. Look at the smile on her face.
But eventually.
Aw, so sweet.
All right, that's our time for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here Monday. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5 News 3 Now investigates. We are digging into the past of the man arrested for attacking a UW-Madison student.
Rising concerns about an apartment building designed for low-income families is prompting action by the city of Madison.
And district officials at an area school are looking to increase class sizes in some grades. That could mean restructuring staff.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. It is an alert day. Bitterly cold temperatures are in the forecast for tonight.
Let's get a first check on the weather now with Gary Canalti on the weather patio. Gary?
Susan, it's cold out here. I don't have to tell you that. You can still hear the trees kind of breaking, the ice breaking off the branches in the background. And on Doppler track, things are very quiet around here. In fact, skies have cleared out nicely. So right now, that's going to lead to another cold night with all the snow and ice on the ground. This morning, we dropped to 2 below zero in Madison. To the north and west, temperatures were near 10 below zero out toward the La Crosse area. And while high temperatures have only reached the middle to upper single digits, those temperatures are already starting to drop here in Madison. We're at 7 degrees, and wind chills are about 7 below zero. And to the west, they're already down to 10 to 15 below zero. Wind chill advisories have been issued through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for areas west of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be down to around 5 to 10 degrees below zero. But even though we'll see an increase in clouds tomorrow afternoon, we'll look for temperatures to be back up in the middle teens. Some snow is on the way for Sunday, and again on Tuesday. I'll have the full details and weather in a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Tonight we are taking a closer look into the criminal past of the man arrested this week for attacking a UW-Madison student.
Rose Schmidt discovered that he was previously charged with a crime that happened on the UW Whitewater campus, and Rose is here now to explain.
That's right. 22-year-old Jerome Winslow had 3 prior felonies before this week, and one of them was out of Jefferson County. The district attorney there recommended prison time, but he never served a day. Court documents show in 2017, Winslow robbed a man at gunpoint on the UW Whitewater campus, and a police officer became injured while chasing him. Winslow was charged with armed robbery, pointing a gun at someone, and resisting an officer. Jefferson County DA Susan Happ recommended a total of 7.5 years, with 2.5 years initial confinement. She says it was a recommendation she did not make lightly, but she believes Winslow had been given enough chances.
You can't just look at the seriousness of the offense. You do have to look at the character of the defendant, and he had positive attributes. He had the fact that he was young, he had family support, he had a lot of family in court, he had character letters that were presented to the court. But for me, the final thing when you balance all of those was the need to protect the public.
In Happ's case, Winslow was sentenced to 8 years in prison with an initial term of 3 years, but the court stayed that sentence, and Winslow was placed on probation for 6 years. Happ says in giving her recommendation, she took into account Winslow's previous crimes in Dane County, which she says tipped the scale and led her to recommend that prison time. And for his alleged attack this week, Winslow was arrested for violating probation, and he is currently in jail.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting tonight. Rose, thank you. A body found inside a burned out vehicle located north of Chicago has now been identified as that of a missing Milwaukee woman. The Lake County, Illinois coroner says dental records confirmed the body found late Saturday is that of 56-year-old teacher Kathleen Ryan. Officials say additional testing is needed before releasing the preliminary cause of Ryan's death.
The Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office is beginning its review of possible charges against the man suspected of fatally shooting a Milwaukee police officer. Investigators have forwarded the case to prosecutors. 26-year-old Jordan Fricke is in custody and accused of killing 35-year-old Matthew Rittner. Officer Rittner was killed while serving a warrant at a Southside duplex Wednesday morning. Governor Tony Evers has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of Rittner.
Rising concerns about an apartment building designed for homeless families is prompting action by the city of Madison.
Mayor Paul Soglin is hoping to brand Heartland Housing, the owner of Tree Lane Apartments, to bring them to the table after complaints of crime and disturbances from neighbors. Our Madeline O'Neill has more from the West Side neighborhood.
Police have been called to Tree Lane Apartments here nearly 400 times since they opened in June. Now, those calls include anything that may have happened near the apartment or even the accidental 911 call. But with about 60 disturbance calls, more than a dozen noise-related calls, and a few weapons and battery calls, neighbors say they've had enough. While it's a project with good intentions,
I didn't expect this kind of trouble.
For months, neighboring business owners and residents have been voicing their worries about Tree Lane family apartments designed for formerly homeless families.
We've noticed police calls happening on a daily basis.
Their concerns are now loud enough that the city of Madison is sending a chronic nuisance premises declaration to Heartland Housing, the Chicago-based property owner.
We wanted to be more assertive in terms of coming up with an abatement plan that we think will really address the issues.
Assistant City Attorney Jennifer Zilovy says the city's letter asks Heartland Housing to work with the city and police department to come up with that plan.
The goal is always, let's abate this nuisance. The goal is never to prosecute somebody.
In the meantime, Alder Paul Skidmore says the city is proposing allocating money for private security and support services at Tree Lane Apartments, all in hopes to get the project back on track.
The city is hopeful.
If Heartland Housing doesn't follow through on the plan they make with the city attorney says they can fine Heartland Housing or even bill them for police costs. Reporting in Madison, Madeline O'Neill, News 3 Now.
When asked for comment, Heartland Housing says it has not received any notice from the city, but in a statement, the property owner says it is committed to providing the resources to help its residents thrive and has expanded hours of security staff coverage at their sites. The Fond du Lac County District Attorney's Office held a news conference related to the findings related to a man who died while in custody.
Medical examiner and investigators at the autopsy noted that in his stomach contents there was white rock-like substances which appeared to be consistent with cocaine. So the cause of death was, as I mentioned, acute cocaine toxicity. And
the district attorney says there will be no criminal charges filed.
All right, next on News 3 Now at 5, the UW System Board of Regents has approved raising graduate tuition at 8 schools and out-of-state undergraduate tuition at 6 schools.
Resident graduate tuition will increase at UW Eau Claire, Green Bay, La Crosse, Oshkosh, Parkside, Stevens Point, Stout, and Whitewater. Non-resident graduate tuition will increase at all of those schools except La Crosse. Non-resident undergraduate tuition, meanwhile, will increase from 1% to 3% at Green Bay, La Crosse, Milwaukee, Parkside, Stevens Point, and Whitewater. Resident undergraduate tuition has been frozen since 2013. District officials in Iowa Grant are looking to increase class sizes in some grades.
The proposal is not sitting well with some parents. Our Keely Arthur spoke with school officials today and shares the reasoning behind their proposal. Keely?
Well, officials believe this is the key to increasing student performance in a district that performs lower, according to the state report card, compared to many neighboring districts. This would impact grades 4K to 3rd grade. Superintendent Stephanie Hubbard is new to the district. She says reducing class sections from 4 to 3 will free up teachers to do other things like support lower achieving students or focus on technology.
We know that we're missing out on some instruction. Our gaps are still there. So we know that we have to put more time into reading and math, and so we'd like to restructure our staff a little bit.
A post critical of the proposal is circulating on Facebook. It calls to keep class sizes where they are at. Now, there will be more discussion on this topic at Monday's school board meeting at 6:30 p.m. at the district offices.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting. Keely, thank you. And this just in from the Channel 3000 Alert Center, the Wisconsin State Assembly is recognizing the officers and deputies who were the first responders at the Middleton workplace shooting in September. Law enforcement officers Tyler Lother, Richard O'Connor, Matthew Earl, and David Lambrecht will be recognized as hometown heroes at the upcoming assembly session on February 12th. State Representative Diane Hesselbein nominated them for their bravery during the Middleton workplace shooting in September at WTS Paradigm.
C.H. Bird Elementary School in Sun Prairie closed early today because of a water main break near the school. District officials were informed that the water main break affected water to the school, so they closed just after lunch. Students who were not picked up were sent to Token Springs Elementary School for the remainder of the day, and those students were taken back to Bird at the end of the day for their regular transportation home.
Students at Madison College are providing free dental care for our local children for the past 15 years. Students with the college's dental hygienist program have offered the free care. The program provides kids with an opportunity to have their teeth examined, cleaned, and x-rayed by dental hygiene students.
It also helps our students fulfill their needs to treat a certain number of pediatric patients and adolescent patients. So it's a win-win for everyone.
This is the 50th anniversary of the dental hygiene program at Madison College. And the Madison Night Market is coming back to Madison for its third year in 2019. Located along Gilman Street, the Madison Night Market will be May 9th, June 13th, August 8th, and September 12th. Vendors showcase handmade products, local art, artisan gifts, prepackaged foods, and fresh produce. There's also live music, visiting food carts and pop-up restaurants. And last year, more than 5,000 attendees came out to enjoy it. Vendors have not been announced yet for the 2019 season.
A Madison boy who called 911 because of an early bedtime wrote a note apologizing to police officers. 9-year-old Max told police he called them February 1st because he didn't want to go to bed at 7 p.m. Max wrote, "I am sorry for wasting your time. I will not do that again." Police say Max took full responsibility for his misuse of 911, and they thanked the boy for sending the letter. The police department replied to the letter saying, in his defense, a 7 p.m. bedtime might seem a little unfair.
It is a little early.
A little life lesson there.
I'm impressed with his letter
I am
writing.
as well.
Good job, Max. More to come on News 3 at 5. A stunning accusation for the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos, blames the National Enquirer, saying it tried to blackmail him.
The acting attorney general is facing questions about his oversight of special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation.
Well, the latest on that and mixed numbers to finish the week on Wall Street. The Dow falls more than 63 points. The Nasdaq adds 10. The S&P 500 jumps almost 2, and we'll be right back. The world's richest man has ignited a high-stakes clash with the parent company of the National Enquirer.
Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos posted a blog accusing American media of extortion and blackmail relating to the National Enquirer's expose of his extramarital affair with Lauren Sanchez. Bezos revealed that what he says are emails from AMI's attorneys telling him to cease and desist from his personal investigation into how the Enquirer got hold of explicit text messages and pictures. Bezos owns the Washington Post and believes the Enquirer is politically motivated because of its close association with President Trump, who once called Jeff Bezos Jeff Bozo. The White House is steering clear so far.
When was the last time the president talked to David Pecker?
I'm not aware.
Is the president aware of the Bezos situation? What's the White House reaction?
I'm not sure if he's aware of it, and we're not going to get into a conversation about something between Jeff Bezos and a tabloid magazine.
AMI responded in a statement that it believes it acted lawfully in its reporting of the Bezos story. Nonetheless, the board has determined it should promptly and thoroughly investigate the claims.
Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker faced questions about his oversight of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Whitaker repeatedly tried to reassure Democrats he has not curtailed the investigation. Lawmakers expressed concern about Whitaker's criticism of the probe before he joined the Department of Justice. Republicans say today's hearing has little to do with congressional oversight of the Justice Department.
It's really disappointing. At first I was mad. I have to tell you, when this thing started hours ago, I went outside and a reporter asked me, what do you think of the hearing? And I said, it's a joke.
It's really hard to imagine that he did not talk to Donald Trump about his opinions about Bob Mueller.
Mr. Whitaker also testified he is comfortable with his decision not to recuse himself from the Mueller investigation, despite DOJ ethics lawyers' advice that he should do so.
The Supreme Court blocked a controversial abortion law hours before it was to go into effect. The 5-4 decision last night temporarily blocked the Louisiana law that critics say would force 2 of the state's 3 abortion clinics to close. The court's 4 conservatives dissented, including the newest Justice, Brett Kavanaugh. He would have allowed the law to take effect, but could reverse course if it burdened a woman's ability to get an abortion. The court still has to decide in the next few months whether to hear the case next term.
A string of revelations has rocked Virginia politics as a sexual assault allegation and decades-old photos with blackface are coming back to haunt some of the state's highest-ranking officials. The latest, Republican State Senate Majority Leader Tommy Normant is under fire for his role as managing editor of the Virginia Military Institute's 1968 yearbook. That book contains racist slurs and photos.
Our responsibility had nothing to do with photographs. It had nothing to do with editing what was written in there.
It comes as the state's governor, Democrat Ralph Northam, faces calls to step down, but tells top staff that he will not resign. Virginia's second in command, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, is now facing 2 sexual assault allegations. And Democrat Attorney General Mark Herring admits he dressed in blackface at a costume party in college.
Let's get a check on the weekend weather now. Gary Canalti is here with the forecast. Gary?
Well, Susan, we have one more bitterly cold night to get through, and then we have a couple of storm systems that bring the potential for accumulating snow. So we have an alert day in the forecast for tonight for overnight low temperatures that'll drop to near 10 below zero and wind chills as cold as 10 to 20 below zero by morning. In fact, it could even be a little colder than that for our far western viewers. And then for Sunday, a storm system will bring occasional light snow through a long period of the day beginning late Saturday night and through the day on Sunday. So could bring 1 to 4 inches of total snow accumulation. And then on Tuesday, a more significant storm system that actually start Monday night and could bring periods of heavy snow from late Monday night through Tuesday morning before it tapers to flurries. We'll have to watch that because that brings the potential for significant snow accumulation of 6 inches or more. Still a little too early to tell right now, but we'll wait for some of the newer computer models to come in to see where that lines up. Otherwise, Doppler track right now, very quiet across southern Wisconsin. Skies actually cleared out nicely. You can see lake effect snows on the other side of Lake Michigan and downwind from Lake Superior, bringing some snow squalls there. But to the north and west, wind chill advisories have been issued, including west of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. For wind chills, it could be down to about 25 below zero in our far western viewing area. Temperatures right now, single digits across much of Wisconsin, already below zero in the northwestern portion of the state. Much of Minnesota is below zero, and then you factor in the winds. And these are the current wind chills: 7 below zero in Madison, 15 below zero in La Crosse, and 20 below zero zero in the Twin Cities. Winds won't be quite as brisk for tonight, but temperatures might be a few degrees colder. As far as the snowfall is concerned, we're taking a look at a couple of computer models just coming in. The GFS computer model, about a 1 to 4 inch snowfall. This is Monday at noon, so that takes into account the snow on Sunday. And then the next storm system bringing the potential for maybe another 6 or so inches of snow on top of that, at least according to the very latest computer model runs. The European computer model, about the same. This time the snow a little heavier to the north, so still in about that 1 to 4 inch range. And then maybe a little more significant snow on Tuesday with somewhere in the neighborhood of about 6 to 10 inches of snow if that computer model verifies. So again, we're looking at the potential for a fairly significant storm on Tuesday. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Clear skies there. The WISC Skycam, that's actually ice over part of the covering of the camera. And then the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Clear skies as well, but it is cold out there. Our almanac for today shows a high of 8 degrees above zero after starting out at 2 degrees below zero. But right now we're at 7 degrees. Skies are partly sunny. Winds are out of the west at 9 miles per hour. So our wind chill this hour is at 7 degrees below zero. On weather track, the jet stream is kind of flattened out. That's starting to push some of the coldest air just a little bit farther to the north, but there's still a pretty good temperature contrast from north to south across the country. Now, the storm system that brought us all the wind and the mixed precipitation yesterday has headed off to the north and east. The next storm system is still out to the west. That will move eastward, and that's what will bring us the snow as we head towards Sunday. But in between, you can see this massive cold air has kind of settled in with temperatures in the single digits above and below zero for much of the Midwest, and wind chills right now 20 to almost 30 below zero, basically from the Dakotas through Minnesota and into far northern Wisconsin. Our forecast includes that wind chill advisory for our northwestern viewers. That's until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look for a low temperature of 9 degrees below zero for tonight, with wind chills perhaps by morning down to 20 below zero. Tomorrow we'll see sunshine in the morning, maybe a little more cloud cover in the afternoon with a high temperature of 17 degrees. On future track, watch those temperatures drop off very quickly tonight, down to near 10 below zero by morning. Tomorrow look for high temperatures back in the middle teens. Some clouds will start moving in the afternoon. Then the snow comes in late tomorrow night, and on Sunday it should snow for much of the day. Not at a heavy clip, but a consistent clip. And again, those high temperatures, wrong graphic in there, high temperatures on Sunday, mid-20s with about 1 to 4 inches of snow. Then as we look at the 10-day forecast, there's a storm for Tuesday, another storm on Friday with some mixed precipitation, and yet another storm after that for the following weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, some delays on the Beltline, especially in the eastbound direction. This is the live view from the DOT camera at Park Street, and you can see traffic moving pretty slowly, actually in both directions at Park Street. We're seeing some delays eastbound beginning around West Broadway, going all the way back to around Verona Road. Westbound delays start around Todd Drive and head back almost to Monona or to Stoughton Road at this point. Travel times right now, 30 minutes in the eastbound direction between University Avenue and the interstate, 26 minutes back in the westbound direction, heading out of Madison, 27 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes out to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. And ahead on News 3 Now at 5, how a special writing assignment by students in New York is making them happier. That story after a short break. A new writing project at a school in upstate New York is having a positive effect on students in and out of the classroom.
Hillary Lane shows us how expressing gratitude is changing attitude.
If you need a fresh journal.
The 8th grade students at Lincoln Middle School in Syracuse, New York begin each day by writing what they're grateful for.
I'm grateful for my father.
Malachi Barksdale and his classmates are writing in gratitude journals.
How do you think you've changed over a year of writing in your journal?
Become more positive throughout life, have positive outlooks and things, and not just think about negative.
I am grateful for how education changed how I spoke and how I wrote.
Researchers at UC Berkeley find people who write down what they're thankful for sleep better, get sick less often, and are happier.
We started to appreciate each other.
School principal LaJuan White says since students began journaling last year, poor behavior reports have dropped 40%.
Once they write in the journal, it didn't stop there. It continued with a dialogue. And the dialogue is, I think, what led the students to really honor and respect each other as individuals.
I think it also brings your confidence up because you're not just like in a little shell anymore.
Students don't have to take part or share their feelings if they don't want to, but they must remain quiet for others. Mia Salamone says she looks forward to the time to reflect.
I'm grateful for my little brother doing good in school, getting his grades up, and working very hard and hanging around people that are good.
And with students more confident, better behaved, and kinder to one another, teachers say they also have reasons to be grateful.
Looking for that positive vibe to get us started.
Hillary Lane, CBS News, Syracuse, New York.
And stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Cold and some snow.
Yeah, some cold tonight. Temperatures already in the single digits above zero, but you factor in the winds, and while they're not as brisk as they were yesterday, we're still seeing wind chills between about 5 and 15 below zero. By morning, they could be down to about 20 to 25 below zero. In fact, there are wind chill advisories west of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line and then up into central Wisconsin. But the 10-day forecast calls for some snow on Sunday. We have an alert day there for about a 1 to 4 inch snowfall. A more significant winter storm possible from later Monday night into Tuesday with potential for heavy snow there, so an alert day there. And then another weather system from late Thursday into Friday could be mixed with some freezing rain or sleet Friday morning and another storm toward the end of next weekend. Only 4 in that one.
Every other day. Yep.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.